Hello everyone, my name is Aaron.
And my name is Kate.
And today we will be discussing how to ace nonlinear systems equations on your SOL.
We'll start off with this definition and move on to work with the different types of problems you'll see on the SOL.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
A system of equations is nonlinear if it has at least one equation with a variable that is not to the first power. Examples are x squared, x times y, and y squared. To solve these systems usually means finding the x and y values of the points of intersection. This can be accomplished by isolating one variable in one equation and substituting it into the other equations.
This is a traditional example of a nonlinear system. The goal of these problems is to discern where the two equations intersect. Thus, we need x and y values to form coordinates. So in this problem, we're asked to find the solutions of the system, given that x squared plus y squared equals 12 and y minus x squared equals 0. Since y in the second equation is singular and has no coefficients or squares, it is easy to find by adding x squared to both sides. Thus, y equals x squared. Next, substitute y in for x squared in the first equation and solve for values of y. So we subtract 12 from both sides, which gives us y squared plus y minus 12 equals 0. When you factor those out, you get y plus 4 times y minus 3 equals 0. Thus, your y values are negative 4 and 3. So now you have your y values. All that is now needed is x values, and those can be found by plugging in the y values and solving for x. So the best equation to do that is y equals x squared. So then we get negative 4 equals x squared and 3 equals x squared. So then you must take the square root of both sides, so the square root of negative 4 equals the square root of x squared, and the square root of 3 equals the square root of x squared. So your solutions are plus or minus 2i, because when you take the square root of a negative number, that number becomes imaginary, which is represented by I. And also, when you introduce a square root, you have to put plus or minus in front of the solution for it to be true. So your other solution is the square root of 3, or plus or minus the square root of 3, and for the same reasons as before. So now we're back to our original problem. And the only one that has plus or minus 2i and plus or minus the square root of 3 as x values is c, and the only one that has negative 4 as a y value that corresponds to plus or minus 2i is c, and the only one that has 3 as a y value that corresponds to plus or minus 3 is c. So thus, your answer is c.
This is another type of a nonlinear equation you are likely to see on your SOL. You will be asked one of the questions. Find the apparent number of solutions in the graph above, or find the apparent solution for the system of equations represented. The answers to both questions can be found just by looking at the graph. We can see that the line intersects the circle at 2 points. Thus, your answer for the first question is B, 2. The answer to the second question is the solutions or points of intersections, which are negative 1, 1, and 1, negative 1, which is answer choice D. This is a technology-enhanced question, but will be treated no differently than any nonlinear system. The solutions are where the two lines intersect, so you must choose the 2 points on the left and right side for your answer to be correct, shown here.
Example 4 is also a technology-enhanced question, but it's a little more complicated than the previous one. In this one, we're asked to find the solutions of the system given that y equals x squared and y equals 18 minus x squared. In a technology-enhanced question like this, you'll be given a series of answers that are possible, and you'll be asked to select the ones that are correct. You must select each one, or the question will be counted wrong. If you select more or less than the allotted number of solutions, the question will be counted wrong. So first, set the equations equal to each other. So x squared equals 18 minus x squared. Then we add x squared to both sides, and we get 2x squared equals 18. Then we have to divide by 2, so we get x squared equals 9. Then we take the square root of both sides, so the square root of x squared equals the square root of 9, so x equals plus or minus 3. Again, because when you introduce a square root into a problem, you have to put plus or minus in front of the solution, or it's not correct. So once you have the x values, we can solve for the y values. So y equals x squared is the best equation to do that in. So y equals 3 squared and y equals negative 3 squared. So y equals 9 and y equals 9. So now we're back to the original problem, and you can automatically eliminate any answer choices that do not have 3 or negative 3 as an x value. So we can eliminate 18, 9, and 9, 18. You can also eliminate any answer choices that do not have 9 as a y value. So you can eliminate 3, negative 9, and negative 3, negative 9. The only two choices that have plus or minus 3 for x values and 9 for y values is 3, 9, and negative 3, 9. So thus, those are your only two answers, and now you've just solved your technology enhanced question. Good luck on your SOL! And remember, math skills are forever.